step on to the interesting panel that we are having on board today. Without much ado, first I would like to call upon our moderator for the day, Chairman of Rosetta Net Singapore, Mr. Manoj Saxena. Can we please have you? And he would be joined in by our interesting panelists today on board, Mr. Ali Umran, CIO of Arab National Bank, Samir Chopra, CEO of RNS Technology Services, Hadi Hakim, Systems Engineer Manager, Middle East for Pure Storage. The panelists would be talking about today's challenge in business continuity and what role should CIOs and vendors be playing to work hand in hand. Manoj, over to you.
So let me welcome the audience. Good afternoon, very good afternoon to the people in APAC and Middle East. And I'm very excited to be part of this CIO Forum and Future IT Summit. And I look forward for these events, right? So where the best practice can be shared across two regions where a lot of things are happening, right? With the panel topic given, I mean, we've seen a lot of speakers speak about the new normal, the changes, and the unprecedented things happening. So just to take a step back, we are all fortunate to be in the history in the making, right? So it's once in a century kind of an event which happens, and we should start off actually with thanking our frontline workers and the essential service people who made our life so easy, so that we are sitting here and at least continuing back after the pandemic, right? So I'd like to start off with thanking them. And through this pandemic, if you just see the kind of transformation which has been forced and pushed to kind of evolve ourselves, the study which has been done by McKinsey, if you just take an analytical study, it tells you like if people in the technology leaders, if you were to make a transformation happen, it would probably take 5 years to get into the point of what the 6 weeks has made everybody happen across the age. My dad never used to use Zoom, and he's able to call in Zoom and then talk to people across, my brother in the US and me in Singapore, right? So it's kind of pushed in, pierced inside, and 5 years ahead of time. It's a lot of transformation and less convincing for technology leaders for adoption there, right? So that's a great thing to hear. A new ways of working has started, and it's pushed technology to its boundaries in that sense, right? So let me shift gear to Samir a little bit on you're on the product and services side, Samir, and security being paramount on top 3 of any CIO's table or the industry or the governments. How do you see the new trends coming in, especially when you engage with the CIOs and CISOs, given pandemic now? Are they asking for more, or has any things changed? And would like to hear from you, Samir.
Thank you, Manoj. First of all, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my colleagues and peers in the industry across, and thanks for joining us. That's very interesting, Manoj, So I think what we've seen so far is traditionally there has been a castle approach to technology, right? So, we've carried forward that mentality of protecting the castle, right? So everything, all the devices, all the people who are inside can be trusted, right? And suddenly we find that there's no inside anymore, right? There's lateral movement happening. There's people are connected from all sorts of places. What machines are trusted? What people are trusted? We don't know these things, right? And suddenly, like Ali mentioned in his talk earlier, there were these challenges for, access, for identity, for remote work, and a lot of corporate, infrastructure investment that happened, which were earlier focused on protecting the keys of the kingdom, were just rendered, very less effective. So a lot of people actually, while there were some who had the vision, to see this and kind of, have a hybrid model. But there were a lot of organizations who really needed help. And, again, like you said, as a services company, what we saw, and when I'm talking to CSOs, etc. today, security is really today an enabler, right? earlier, like I said, zero trust today is paramount in front of every CIO's mind share, and more importantly, every CFO's mind share. Earlier, even the internal cybersecurity division was seen like selling insurance. So the CFOs didn't want to hear about cybersecurity solutions and things like that. But today the CFOs want to ensure that the CIO, even if the CIO doesn't talk about cybersecurity, the CFOs come and ask them about, okay, so what are you doing? How are you making sure that our data is secure, our people are secure, and things like that. So I think this whole change in our working culture has taken cybersecurity and business continuity to the forefront and right to the board, which in the last so many years we've been trying to educate and we've been trying to bring it on. And like I said, a lot of the tier A, the larger companies, the multi-million dollar and the billion-dollar organizations are already doing. But a lot of the mid-tier companies were kind of not looking at it that strategically and from a perspective of that the investments need to be made. Like I said, they were seen more as an insurance policy rather than anything else, right? But today things have changed drastically. So I think that's what has come to the forefront. So a lot of people today sitting up taking notice of who's accessing, are they do they have access, do they really need to access these things, and once they access it from the outside, where are they moving laterally within? Because most of the attacks today and most of the information or the data that is lost today is something that's happening from the inside, not from the outside. So I think this is a big key change that we are seeing as a service provider, to most of the people that we talk to.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't agree with you more. I like the way you put it in terms of insurance, right? So from insurance, and you never know, people are working from home, they can have thumb drives, they can have other devices, this all vulnerability has increased threefold, fourfold, right? So absolutely. And not only that, when I see that if any C-suite is to be appointed by headhunters, and even when I see the job postings, the cybersecurity is a key ask from the CIOs to be as a new normal, to be as a C-suite, right? So absolutely, it's tagging along.